Hey family, as I stated before in my last video, God is doing a new thing. So every time I come on here, it seems like He gives me something different, whether it's a movie, whether it's a song. Today, I bring a dream to you. I've been having some of my dreams are weird anyway, but the last two dreams I had, I don't know how to explain it. Like I could tell that it was a purpose behind the dream. I couldn't understand it, but the type of dream it was, I'm like, one, I've never dreamed of anything like this. Two, why would I do it? Like it was something that I would never do in places I would never be at. So when that happens, I know that he's using it for a reason. So I sat on it for like 2 days and I try to write down my dreams anyway. Sometimes I can remember them, sometimes I can't. These days, I have been remembering them very vividly. So that's another thing. But I was in the middle of writing it down, and as I'm writing, like revelations began to start coming, and I just start flowing as to the meaning and interpretation of the dream. So I'm bringing this dream to you guys today. Um, I had this dream on 1/4/25. So like a day ago, a day or two ago. So I had a dream that we were visiting somewhere. When I say visiting somewhere, I know it was me, a child. The reason I say child because I have a younger child in real life, but I couldn't tell in the dream whether it was my natural child or like another child. I think it might, my child is a boy, but I think this might have been a girl. But at any stance, it was me with what would have been my child in the dream. And I know I traveled with somebody else. So I had a dream that we were visiting somewhere and we stopped at a rest stop or a gas station. Um, I think it might have been a gas station rather than a rest stop because a rest stop is like you come in, you can use the bathroom, maybe got vending machines and stuff, but this was set up more like a gas station. So I think it might have been a gas station. Um, and like I said, I did something in a dream that I never do in the natural. I let the child go to the bathroom by themselves. Like now, this child looked to be every bit of maybe age 7 to 9. And you guys, I completely believe in once your child gets to a certain age, and I would say at least, I don't even know how old these days, to be honest with you guys, but I will say keep an eye on your kids. If you do send them to the bathroom by themselves, stand outside the bathroom, tell them to go to a stall with a locked door, never go to the urinals that's out in the open. So I, at this point, don't let my child, my younger one, go to the bathroom by herself. So, meaning I make other arrangements, we just don't go to the bathroom at all, or you know, I'll take him to the bathroom with me, stand outside the stall, stand in the stall, turn whatever. But that's another story. So this I would never do in the natural. So I let them go into the bathroom, let the child go into the bathroom by themselves. I stood outside the bathroom door waiting for them to come out, but I got distracted. It was two men or males that were standing there, and they started to talk to me. And I could tell in the dream that I was flirting, but I know they were flirting with me in order for me to flirt back. But nonetheless, I got distracted. And because I got distracted, so much time had passed by that I thought that maybe the child had already came out of the bathroom. Because I'm sitting there, I'm like, I didn't see them come out. They would have walked up to me. But then again, maybe they walked past me and I was just distracted. So I left my position and went outside to look for them. And this is the part why I say I think I was traveling with somebody else because I went to a car. You know how like if you think that maybe the person you was with have gone back to the car, maybe this was a child. So why would I go outside to look in the car unless somebody was in the car that she could have went back to? So I remember going outside to the car. I'm not sure if I left or went to the car and came right back in. I would say I had to leave for a certain amount of time. Um, because when I got back to the location that I had left the child at or that we were at when they used the bathroom, when I went back in, The child was out of the bathroom, and the child was still directly across from the bathroom. It was like a waiting area. And when I looked over, there were like two or three people that were sitting in like chairs that you would normally be in the waiting area. And the child was like mingling amongst those people. So I automatically go over to the child, start hugging them, crying, grateful that I had found them because I thought I had lost them. But they were, not only were they still in the same place, they were found and they looked to be safe. So they were unharmed. I immediately was notified by someone that I think was the manager or maybe the desk clerk that the father of said child had been there. So apparently he wasn't there when I got there, but apparently he had been there. And apparently he had got his lawyers involved, claiming that I abandoned the child. As soon as I began to stress over what I was just told, I was immediately informed that he only made one appearance and got tired of waiting. So in here, I made a notation of waiting to see me fail or waiting to see me fall or planning to or playing my role or caring for the child. He got tired. So he was only around briefly. So he basically forfeited the case that him and his lawyer had opened, and he never returned. And then I woke up. So as I started to write that dream down, the Lord dropped this in my spirit. A lot of you have been playing certain positions, whether that be for the kingdom or God, the Father Himself, whether that be, okay, you decided to follow the Lord wholeheartedly. So you said, I'm going to stop, drinking. I'm going to stop going out to the club. You had a kingdom promise. So you said, okay, I'm going to leave the counterfeits alone. I'm going to wait for the spouse that God has for me. Whatever it was or is, a lot of you have been waiting on your child. The child in this dream represent promises. So that could be children, that could be actual children, businesses, your spouses, financial, whatever it is, you have been waiting on the promise, and you got distracted, whether that was by counterfeits. Because remember, I was standing there outside the bathroom. I got distracted flirting with two men that were talking to me right outside the bathroom, and then an amount of time had went by, and I thought I missed the promise. I thought, I had missed the promise. So much time had passed that you thought you had missed it. You left your position. I got out of position waiting on the promise and left to look for the promise and then came back and got in position. So the fact that you left your position allowed someone that has been waiting and plotting for you to mess up, i.e., start drinking again, start clubbing, start being promiscuous, whatever it is you left behind. Someone has been waiting and plotting to step into your position to try to find something on you to use against you in order to take it from you, whether that be your spouses, whether that be the finances, whatever promises God made to you. You have somebody who have been waiting on the sidelines, waiting to step into that place and position that God has you in, and you got distracted by whatever you allowed to get distracted, whether it be thoughts, warfare, whatever. You got distracted and you left your position. So if you have not returned to your position, whether that be praying, fasting, believing, or your faith, or putting down the alcohol, or stopping cussing, getting it back into your prayer life, whatever it is, if you have left that and you have not returned, writing your book or just overall warring in the spirit, do so. You will find that the promise was there the entire time. Your promise is still there. This person that was trying to step into your position. Now, remember in a dream, that person, the so-called father, only stated that he only made. Now, you were so worried about this child that you only made an appearance once to make it look good, to make it look nice, to play a role. You only made and the parents wants, and they got tired of caring for the child slash promise, or are going to get, because like I said, maybe this is past, maybe this is present, or they're going to get tired of caring for the promise. But the most important thing to note is that by the time I got upset about it, I was immediately notified that they had given up. They are not equipped nor ordained to steward your promise. It has never left. Notice that when I got back to the gas station, the promise had never left the position that I was in. I was standing outside the bathroom waiting on the promise or the child to come out. When I got there, the promise was out of the bathroom. The child was out of the bathroom and in the waiting room, mingling amongst the others that was waiting. So there were other people waiting on things too. They were across from the bathroom, mingling with others, unharmed, untouched, hadn't gone anywhere. Not one head on the child or promise head had been touched. The promise is not harmed. It has not been bothered. It has not been hindered. It's there. So it is in the waiting room. When you get back to your position, it will not be long till it becomes tangible enough to touch, grasp, or hold. Notice when I immediately got in there, what I thought was delayed, or I had missed it. I thought I had missed the promise. I thought the child had came out, so I left my position to go find the promise. When I got back out, the promise was there in the waiting room. So the Father is saying, get back into position. Anything that He has for you, you don't have to leave the position to go search for it. That it will come out and meet you. It will meet you. Thank you, Holy Spirit. It will meet you where you are. Had I just waited, first of all, had I not been distracted by the men, by the counterfeits, by the things that the enemy sent to distract me, and flirting or whatever I was doing, I would have been able to be in position at the perfect time to greet the promise when it came out. I got out of position. I allowed myself to get distracted, thought I had missed it, got out of position to go find it, came back to my position to find it waiting in the waiting room. Get back into position. First of all, I know it's hard. I know it's so hard, but try not to be distracted. If you get distracted, briefly shake it off, get your mind right, get it centered. Remember what the Lord has told you. So the Lord also called me to share a little bit of my testimony. So I had a legal situation that took place. The thing that prompted that legal situation lasted 10 years. Throughout that 10 years, I went through everything. I went through slander. I went through financial hardships. I went through a lot of things. And once it had finally gotten to court, the actual situation took 6 long years. I had a lawyer on retainer. I was paying a lawyer. I retained the lawyer in 2018. The matter just got solved January of this year, 2024. I guess you could say that was my first breakthrough. It got solved this year of January 2024. Now, let me give you a backstory. So I'm not the type of person that will go searching for anything. So I never searched this person, never dug up dirt on this person or anything. But the Lord dropped in my spirit one day. He said, Google this person. So I'm like, Lord, like, I'm not trying to be messy. Why am I going to Google them? So I was obedient. I Googled. This person had got into some trouble that got them incarcerated or locked up and was out on bail or bond when they were actually taking me to court. So here we are in a legal matter, which whatever they went to jail for would have affected this, and it wasn't even entered in the case, but I was still legally fighting. I could have got mad. I could have left my position. I could have got out of character. I could have did something that would have cost me what God was already working on, but I stayed focused. I did relay the information to the proper people, which, I mean, it sort of changed something, but God did it. So some months went past even after I relayed the information. And God told me again. He said, Google it again. I'm like, God, I already Googled it, but okay. Google it again. Tell me why this person got picked up again and actually got sentenced. Now, the thing that we were in court for, that I had a lawyer retained for, was something criminal. So this person get picked up on the thing that they got incarcerated for and end up getting more years than they would have got on the thing that we were in court for. And the reason why I say that, people, like, I had a lot of people like, I don't know how you do it. I don't know if it would have been me, da 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 da. And I'm pretty sure you didn't heard that on your stuff. I don't know how you stay so humble. I don't know how you stay so. The Lord, when he say he fight your battles, when he say he got it, when he say take your hand off of it, he means it. And if I would have been trying to stoop down to his level, if I would have been trying to slander him, if I would have been trying to drag him, if I did it any other way than how the Lord told me to handle it, it probably wouldn't have ended up like that. But I trusted him. And even though it took a little bit, mind you, in the dream, the child was in there. It took a while, and because I was distracted, I didn't know whether the child had came out or not. So the promise that God made to me to handle my situation took a while, guys. Blood, sweat, and tears. It took a while. But in the end, he showed up in a greater, grander, more permanent way than me doing it my way would have done. He ended up getting him on something that he did himself. And what was the crazy thing is, what he got incarcerated for was a part of the case. So I didn't even have to prove that. I didn't have to say, well, he this and he that, and this person this and this person. No. What he got incarcerated proved what it was that was already in our case, because that's what he got arrested for. So your promises are still there. Stay in position. Do not get distracted. Do not step out of character. Do not step out of where God has you at, the way he's pruned you and refined you. Do not go backwards. Continue to grow, continue to persevere, and soon the promise will be tangible. And if you have stepped out of position, get back into position, and soon you will be able to grab a hold of what God has for you. And you will be excited and in tears, because I was in tears. I was relieved. So stay in position. I hope this encouraged someone. I hope this inspires you to get back into position and just go harder for the Lord, because he's going hard for you. Amen, family. Have a blessed day.